So, welcome to the showcase for the Code in the Schools Prodigy Program from fall of 2023. We had an amazing 14 weeks where students learned Python, 3D design, Minecraft. We did game design on multiple levels, cybersecurity, and we also had an exciting new pilot of our year-round YouthWorks program. So I'll talk a little bit about that later. But Prodigy is our flagship program here at Code in the Schools, where we take students through 14 weeks of hands-on career, real-world focused technology education. So you're not just learning how to code, you are learning the technology that professionals learn how to code. You're using tools that professionals are using in the workforce, and you're developing projects that are going to help you one day build a portfolio to help you get into school, career, whatever you hope to do one day in the technology field, even if that is personal projects, entrepreneurship, just want to be a coder on the weekends. But Code in the Schools is all about giving you all the young people in Baltimore City, the tools to use technology to advance your lives and prepare for the 21st century. Because we all say technology is the future, everything is tech, and hopefully through this program, you all will have an opportunity to use that tech to advance your futures. Thank you, Trish, because also we wouldn't be here celebrating all of the amazing young people on this call if it wasn't for the families and your support. So can we also have either audible or a virtual round of applause for our families? Thank you all families for the support, not just for tonight to see all of the amazing work, but your support day in, day out of our young people, of our program. They would also not be a Prodigy if it wasn't for you. So thank you, parents, guardians, and loved ones. We are so excited to have this opportunity to showcase our program to you all. In addition to our Prodigy program, Code in the Schools is a bunch of other amazing things in the realm of computer science. In addition to youth programming at Prodigy, which is our flagship free after school program, we do in-school programs, out of school time programs as well. We also have special events like our game jam. If you weren't here this past fall for our game jam, I encourage you to come back this upcoming fall or the next time we have game jam. Keep a look on our website and our social media for our upcoming events. We also have our flagship workforce development program in partnership with YouthWorks. That is CodeWorks. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the call too. But if you were between the ages of 14 and 21, plan to join us for CodeWorks this summer, where you can get paid to learn all these amazing technical workforce development skills. And as if that was not enough, we also do professional learning for our teachers across Maryland so that they are also empowered to bring computer science into their classroom. So Code in the Schools as an organization is very is very committed to advancing computer science for our young people, for our schools, for our community. And we do that through the support of you all. So thank you for being here, supporting us, taking our programs, and being just a general fan of what we do. We appreciate you all. So we also wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of the amazing work of our instructors. All of our instructors are on this call for Prodigy. They have tirelessly put time, energy, their own professional commitment and their professional knowledge towards creating these courses. Our instructors also have a background in technology and bring a lot of that background and experience to their classes. I would say I think all of our instructors do live in Baltimore City, so they are also a member of the community that we are all a part of. So these folks are truly committed to advancing computer science for young people. So can we also give a virtual round of applause for our instructors who have all done such amazing work in their classes and creating these courses for you all. So for this semester's round of instructors, we have Mr. Brooke Daba teaching CS fundamentals, Python, web dev. We have Mr. Darius McCoy teaching 3D design and facilitating our year-round youth works program. We have Mr. David Gatewood teaching our Minecraft course, our introduction to game development. Then we have Mr. Jacob Ferragamo teaching game development, both our intro and our advanced inter and advanced course. So I know a lot of you are excited to see the product of the games in that track. We also have Mr. Roman DeArmas teaching cyber security. And that is our amazing slate of instructors for this semester. And then the rest of now for the rest of the event, you get to hear from our instructors and our students. And you can hear from their mouths more about the courses, the tracks, and all that we've done this semester. If you are a student on this call, when your track is up or at the end of the event, if you want to come off mute and talk a little bit about the work that you did, what was your most exciting, fun part of the semester, anything that you want to share with us, we welcome that. We might even call on you. So be prepared for that. But I'm going to pass the virtual mic. First up, we have Brooke. Brooke, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Get you share it up on me. All right. Can we have a round of applause for the track presentation? Woo!
Yay, can y'all see my screen? Okay. Cool. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Mr. Brooke Dava, and I'm teaching CS fundamentals. And this track explores the foundational concepts in computer science, and we do it through hands-on projects in Python, C#, and JavaScript. And the main objective really is just to prepare students to tackle more specialized courses or tracks like game development and machine learning and web dev, so that they have the foundational understanding, but also the confidence as they go into these tracks. So we explore things like data types and operations, or error handling and debugging, or control statements and data structure. So these are concepts that are embedded, in every computer science course, in every programming languages. These are things that pop up. And the learning outcome, we looked at it from two perspectives. So there's the knowledge target, like understanding how to present data in code, and common techniques used to control the flow of your code execution, or understanding just the basic syntax in these three programming languages. And then the skill targets are being able to plan, design, and create code. Just like understanding the procedures and understanding how to execute code in Python and C#, because it's kind of different, in those languages. And then this is the big one, being able to debug a program and handle errors. No matter what language you're learning, there's always going to be errors, and you kind of need to be strategic on how you debug. So we talked a lot about that. And then just being comfortable in using IDEs and working on the console. So these are the learning outcomes. And we started out learning with Python because it's relatively simpler and it's very flexible. So we started with Python, and then we started C#, then we went into JavaScript. And the way I deliver lessons every session, we do lectures, so we talk about vocab and We talk about why certain things are named the way they are. I think it gives them information and like it makes it relatable. And then we talked about procedures on how to do different things. So like step one, step two, step three. And we also did coding drills. So kind of like, military drills so that doing it repeatedly helps them be more comfortable, but also like really just like ingrained in their memory. So we practiced on exercises where they have to predict the outcome of a single line of code, for example, or different debugging exercises. I'll give them code that has errors in them, and then they have to figure out how to fix it. And it's kind of hard to see here, but we also I give them code that's incomplete, and I tell them what the code is supposed to do, and they have to figure out what goes there. We also do prompt to code. So this teaches them how to think about the problem and all of the different components involved. So what is this problem actually asking, and being able to go from there. And of course, then they will start pseudocoding using comments, and creating the code and executing it. And then we also have a reflection element so that they can think about their strength and what they need to improve on, but also to be able to compare these different languages and how they're similar and how they're different. And then finally, we do assessments. Cahoots are everybody's favorites. Sometimes it's individual, so it gets really competitive, and sometimes everybody works together as a group. And of course, we also have the final project. Again, it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of how, yeah, so that's kind of like how the um, semester went by. And this is a sample project that people did. So this is by Mary Brown. It's a JavaScript final project. And I helped her with the HTML and CSS part because it can be a lot, but she basically worked on um creating the event listener. So when a user clicks on a link, then certain content happens. Let's see. And it is kind of like the first stepping stone into creating single page applications. So here, when you click on a link, the content changes based on which uh event listener is triggered. And you can see that the page is not refreshing, but the content is changing. And this is kind of like the basic steps in creating single page application. And then another sample project that I have here is by Thomas. I also helped him here with using the Turtle graphics module because it can be a lot, but he did use the random module to randomly assign a value for the height and width of the building. So every time you run this code, you're gonna get a different picture. Um, all right, so that's all I have. Unless Andy, I know Andy's in the chat. Maybe if you want to talk about some of the stuff that you worked on. Are you still there, Andy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, so tell us about how you saw Python versus C# versus JavaScript. I know you've done a lot of Python in the past. So how was it for you?
Okay, so it was pretty fun learning C sharp. this was my first time I seeing C sharp.
Mhm.
Uh, so it was fun for me because in the past I have worked with Java, which
All right.
uh has a similar syntax as C sharp. So it was very fun, and yeah, I like it. And as well as with HTML and CSS and JavaScript, it was cool to learn these tools again because I started learning them when I was a freshman and it was a while ago. So then I had this experience to learn with you and do mini projects during the lessons,
Mhm.
and like with the debugging skills that you taught us. It was incredible to be on the program.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel comfortable, for example, learning machine learning next? Because we have machine learning coming up in the spring.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because it's a new tool that I will be able to use. So hopefully I can be there next semester.
Yay, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. All right, thank you, everybody.
I needed the sound effects. So, thank you. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for that awesome presentation about that track. Next up, we have 3D printing with Darius. Darius, would you like to share your screen?
Could I actually have you share the slides, please?
I can do that.
I don't want to lag out this way. Okay. Yeah. Hello, guys. I'm Darius. So this is sort of the first time that 3D printing was done at Coding Schools. Um, so yeah. So we over the course of 14 weeks, we started out learning about what 3D printing was. This is new to the students, so we talked about all the different parts of the 3D printer, and we actually had an extra kit. So we put together a 3D printer. And then once we did that, the majority of the rest of the course was about 3D design and understanding the design cycle. And we did that 3D design in PixelCAD. And next slide. Yeah, so a word to describe the course, multi-dimensions. So we had learned different things, like I said, through 3D printing. We had students go off and create these fun creations, and we had some downtime. So I'm not sure I can't remember who made this one, but a Pac-Man model, and they also made like Pokemon and whatnot, so it was pretty fun to see those. But yeah, next slide. Yeah, so a little bit about the design process. So that was sort of the main focus throughout the program, was to sort of use 3D printing as an example of how companies go through the design process and making their products. So in everyday life that we also go through this also. We just don't really realize it, but sort of the process of making something and getting it done. So um Prodigy as a whole, the whole went through a design process, and to sort of like just try to reiterate that. And we went through we had different projects that we had prompts for, and we sort of went through this process. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so on the left hand is the very first project that we did as a group, where they was learning the basics of TreeCAD, and they made name keychains, and some of them were printed, some of them um, didn't get printed because it was a good learning opportunity. So like there were some designs that um, didn't didn't successfully print. So like we use that as an example, like, well, not everything is possible with 3D printing, but with iteration, like going back to the design process, like with iteration and making things better, things can be completed that way. So we went through that whole cycle with the very first keychains. So on the right hand was our first introduction to the design process. So the prompt was to reinvent a shopping cart. So they went through and made their own variations of shopping carts, and these are two of the cool examples that I have there. And next slide. Yeah, so excuse me, one of the very first projects after the keychains, before we did the shopping carts, we made some chess pieces. So we started out with a single chess pawn tutorial, and then we wanted to branch off and say, let's try to make our own chess set. So that was some cool projects there that they did. And then on the right hand, we did some another design process where we took we had the students sort of brainstorm problems that they face, I guess, outside and get into either get into school or things that is that affect them in their life. So like one was like, I guess, speeding. So a group a group of students, they we split up into two groups. So one group decided to tackle speeding in the city. So they had these pretty cool ideas to like mount like sensors on cars to like monitor traffic flow so that we can ease just like ease drivers on the streets to like slow down, stick to the speed limit. So that was a cool idea. That was sort of like it was a fun one because very like a lot of out of the box thinking going on there. So that was pretty funny to like sort of hear out their design process through that. And then in the top right corner was a uh, a backpack project where they had that their problem was they were losing things, so they try to invent like a backpack that will, I guess, be able to track things out or the losing and stuff like that. Yeah. Um, the next slide. So the final project that we wanted to get through was to take a park in the city and then sort of research the park and sort of reimagine the park and remodel it. And so we had two different groups that were um, trying to figure out what things needed to be wanted to like update in the park. So on the left hand was sort of like a new style playground area. So they have like a interesting swing set and some climbing obstacles and whatnot. And then there was some more of like trying to add more beauty to the park. So adding like park fountains and statues, or adding more other things for folks like dog park. So there was more ideas that they had, but the weather and the holiday sort of took away time from that. But yeah, I think the next slide is our accolades. Yeah, so I just want to give like everyone in the group sort of their shout outs. There was a lot of different creativity and it was fun getting to know the group. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have, now we're going to move from 3D design over to our game dev tracks. Now, we actually have a couple of different game development tracks. We added this Minecraft course as an accessible way of kind of showing students that like you don't just have to play games, you can make games even in this gaming platform that is rich in different tools that really relay into computer science skills. So we were really excited about this course as a cool introduction to game development. I think the first time we did this was over the summer. This is the first time we're doing Minecraft in Prodigy programming. So David, take it away.
Hello, everybody. It's my first year teaching Minecraft education course. It's our first time also teaching Minecraft education course in Prodigy. And this is like our youngest bunch of kids that we've had. Can I share my screen? Do I have permission? I can control it. Thank you. Okay. And so, yeah, Minecraft education, it's not about just playing games. And it's about, I guess, that creativity and learning, and just having fun. Playing Minecraft fuels their learning to like understand more. The main idea for this course is to strengthen their core computer programming understanding by learning about specific computer, coding jargon, events, coordinates, variables, just terminology so they can be familiar because they're going to hear it through every one of the classes going forward. Our hope is to push these guys to intermediate so they can actually develop video games in Unity, more complex game engine. And here's a little bit of my lesson up in the top left, just my world, just practicing and showing kids some of the codes that we've done, like copy pasting homes, making routes for your agent to go through and digging tunnels and random, different stuff. And on the right is a compass that one of my students made, Gabriel, when she was here. Gabriel had created that by himself. My other students had a whole bunch of little different fancy compasses, which have more pictures to share. But yeah, the whole point is to help these students understand or to promote their to encourage students to be creative through code, to have them do do their own things and adventure and try to, create their own mods, hopefully by the end of the course. And here's a couple more examples. I have some more examples of Gabriel's compass rose. And in the bottom right, that's Simori's arena that he just made just the other day with lava falling down. So like 2 players can fly on top and whoever falls off can, fall in that little lava pit. But yeah, I had a great time learning and getting to work with all of you guys. I wish a couple more of my students were here. But yeah, I got to see a lot of impressive projects, a lot of different things, got to learn a lot of interesting characters too. It was a pleasure working with all you guys. And that's all I have.
All right, round of applause. It was really exciting to kind of add new courses, really engage a different group of young people. Like David said, we had younger students on here, so we're really starting our students on a pipeline earlier with tools that they're familiar with to really engage them and keep them on this pipeline and pathway into computer science. So after Minecraft, we have game dev. So Mr. Ferragamo, if you want to talk about the rest of our game development tracks, it is definitely our most popular pathway here at Code in the Schools. I know you have some students on the call, so I'm really excited to hear from you and hear from them about how playing games is turning into real life career pathways and real life games. So Jacob, take it away.
Awesome. Do you want me to share the slides or do you want to continue doing that? I'm good with either.
If you want to share your slides, that would be great.
All right. Let's do. Let's just give me a little thing. Awesome. Is it showing up correctly? Is it showing up correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see.
You're all good.
Awesome. So anyway, like you heard, my name is Mr. Ferragamo, and I'm the instructor for our game dev intermediate and advanced. It's always a really great time watching the students grow into these really capable coders, where in intermediate, we sort of do more of a guided project, and in advanced, I sort of take the reins off and let them brainstorm, we scope down their project, and we really make something cool. So this is there we go. So what is game development? Game development is a very multifaceted discipline of computer science. It's not just coding, it's art, it's sound design, it's understanding play, and it's having the dedication to go through and do all of that in usually a time frame that isn't enough. We had some really awesome students this year in our intermediate class, and I'm really proud of my students in my advanced class this year. I'm excited to show off some of their work. So talking about some of their work, just to shout out some kids a little bit early from the accolades, we had a bit of a mix in our classes this year because of time constraints, which is often our students' biggest hurdle. We had students like Luke, who would come to our advanced class, but he was really intermediate. And I would always get his name mixed up with Patrick. To the two of them, I apologize here for that because it was pretty much every class. But they're both very bright students. Seeing Luke's progress in his 2D map editing, in his eye for like building a very playable level, like a very fun and fluid level, was really awesome to see grow. A special shout out to Nehemiah Greenway and his work doing 3D modeling. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a lot of pictures of his work because he wasn't there the last day, and then we got snowed out, so I wasn't able to get a few pictures, but I did find one where you could see a bit of his screen. And he's been learning Blender, which is another tool on top of coding, where he's making 3D models for our games. And it's just always super impressive to see everything the students accomplish. Again, this is not just coding, it's art, it's rigging those animations, it's planning everything out, dividing all the tasks, time management, environment design. The list is really long. So, like I said, our advanced game dev, design and begin building a small game, and the goal is roughly an hour of gameplay, which can be daunting, especially at their level. For intermediate, build a small 2D based game. We've modeled ours off of top-down shooters, but as you'll see, our students sort of veered off that course. So one of our students, this was Max. Both the Hucks are in the slideshow, but Max ended up making this really fun game. I guess they ended up with Silly as the name. But you were a frog that ran around a maze and you fought flies with your tongue. I think the Hucks are here. Are you all here? I'm gonna take the silence as no. Or they're in the chat and saying stuff. Either way, I'm really proud of this one. They really learned about a lot about trying to. They're awesome. Do you want to say anything about your game really quickly?
It's I just really liked making all the different sprites and the mechanics of the game.
Yeah. Well, it was really impressive to see a lot of your like goal-driven design when it came to the game, right? And you had a very clear image, or it felt like you had a very clear image from the beginning, and you were able to scope that down and really get something that was fun and playable. I'm excited for the start of the next go round of Prodigy, because then we'll have the time to actually get this built out and pushed onto our itch, where you can see a lot of games from the past prodigies, if anybody's interested in checking that out. Our other game, made by another Huck, is Wrong Chest. And this I was super impressed with. Calder had asked me early on if they needed to make a top-down because they really wanted to make a platformer. And I'm not one to tell a student no, so I said, sure, go for it. But we're moving this direction with the class, so understand if you have some trouble, I might be a second to be able to come and help you. But Calder flew, and really, I can't capture enough in just pictures of this game. I'm really excited for them to be able to export it, build it, and then push it out so you can play it. But there's a lot of different 2D platform mechanics that I would expect out of maybe an older student to program from scratch. But Calder was able to do that by themselves for the most part while I'm helping other students. Calder, do you want to say anything?
It was just really fun to like figure it out on mostly on my own and just make the levels themselves. That was my favorite part. I like level design.
Mhm. Right. And I was particularly impressed with their starting screen, their animations, and their like way their level kind of flowed about itself. That teach, test, and or teach, practice, and test method of game design and like level planning was really evident there. So again, awesome work. Then we get into our advanced students who are like halfway through a development cycle. Um, Making a full game with like an hour worth of gameplay takes a lot of time and dedication. And we meet for roughly 4 hours a week on a week that we don't have time, other activities, school delay, or something or the other getting in the way. So we have two groups for advanced. We have one that is making their Untitled Fish game, where you play a kingfish, you make a castle, and you're fighting humans. It was very interesting to sit down with Gav and work out a buoyancy script just for us both to realize that Unity had a pre-built buoyancy script, and then to go through and then implement that on top of watching them make their dialogue scripts and plan out their building scripts. I'm really excited to see their final product of this game. Is anybody from this group here? I heard Brandon in the Slack, but I didn't see if they joined yet.
I'm here, Mr. Ferragamo.
Oh, wow. You want to say anything about your game real quick?
Well, this is Nathaniel, not Brandon. I wanted to clarify that.
Yep. Yep. So, hi, Nathaniel. How are you doing? What you want to say anything about your time developing on the Untitled Fish game?
I found it very informative and frustrating at times, but that's game development and working with code. But it was very fun developing the game, and even though we don't exactly have a title or a finished game, I feel we did very good with what we have so far.
Yeah, and I'd agree. You guys are tackling something a little ambitious. You have a lot of different small mechanics. Oh, it looks like we got Gav over there with Brooke. Gav, do you want to say anything really quickly?
We do have a title. We're calling it Subtopia. This is a little bit out of date. We have a different menu, but it still is the same background. We're calling our game Subtopia. We have a lot of the mechanics down. We kind of just need to put everything back together properly. So it is farther along than this. Also, whoever added the bubbles, props to them.
The bubbles I found in your Slack in all of your assets that you guys were sharing back and forth. But anyway, I'll move on to our other game where we have Protect the Plants. For both games, I struggled to find their design documents where they wrote their names for their games. So if I'm wrong here, please correct me. But I saw Ben Higgins in here. Ben, would you like to say anything about your development here with Khalid and Nehemiah?
Hey everybody. Yeah. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. So this game, right? This is supposed to be kind of like a horror defender game, and the main idea is that you use plants as power-ups. I spent the majority of the time just getting the map layout done and probably working on the combat and everything. And we were also idea mapping a majority of the time. Khalid, he made those little seed icons that we're going to be using later in development. Nehemiah was currently working on a 3D model that he was rigging, which looked really good. We're going to use that as our primary character model for our game. And yeah, I was learning a few things about camera tricks, fixing up code and everything. It was a very fun experience to do with 3D, work with 3D space now, because I usually did 2D.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, and I want to say I'm really impressed with this group as well. Khalid, because of time constraints, was only able to meet on our advanced days. And because of their passion for their writing and whatnot, I decided to throw them in with an advanced group as like a writer or a story to focus on the story for their game. Ben was a champ and decided to pick up a lot of the coding, where Nehemiah decided to try something new and do 3D modeling. Again, I don't feel like the pictures capture everything they did, but that's the nature of game development until you have a working model, which I'm sure they'll get up very quickly once we start up this next semester of this. Anyway, so just a few other accolades. Patrick, I never got any of your screenshots, but Patrick has an amazing game from intermediate that I would encourage you to check out, where he really got into particle effects and sound design on top of just making a pretty solid top-down shooter. In our advanced class, just the way I could see everybody dedicating themselves to everything they needed to do, a lot of the professionalism taken in their coding. I'm very proud of everybody's code. In fact, that we could look at it and see that it's all commented out and it's very clear to read is really nice. Brandon in particular coming in on days off to make sure that X, Y, and Z thing got done was awesome to see. I'm really proud of everybody that attended. Even if you're unmentioned, I think you did an absolutely amazing job, and I really can't wait for next semester. I'm really excited to see where everything goes. All right, it looks like.
And the soundtrack of the evening is Mr. Roman Daramis for cybersecurity. So we're super excited that Roman got to learn alongside our students about things, all things cybersecurity. And I am not going to pretend to be the expert of cybersecurity on this call. I'm going to let Mr. Roman do that. And Roman, would you like to share your screens, or would you like me to?
If you could share it, that would be great, because my computer is slowly losing its battery and I'm not near a plug right now. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So while I get this show on the road, one thing I do want to say about our games before we transition from our game development track is to say that for students that didn't get a chance to finish their game and showcase it for the showcase, or for those that were able to finish their game, we still hope to gather your artifacts, gather your game, and put it up on a website alongside this showcase video so that people can see your games, play your games, and get to experience your artifacts. So if you didn't finish, if you finished and didn't get a chance to share your screenshots, please reach out to your instructor so that we can make sure that get your product up and up so that people can see it. So don't be discouraged. Your product will see the light of day soon enough. So back to cybersecurity, passing the virtual mic to Roman.
Thank you very much. So cybersecurity was a lot, and in the best way possible. Cybersecurity was my, well, technically second time teaching cybersecurity, which my first time being during CodeWorks. This second time though, I had everything under control. It was very, very fun. Cybersecurity gave entry-level information about online practices when it comes to secure servers, getting into opposing servers or setup servers in the form of war games, which I'll go over in a bit, and all done on the basic or default cybersecurity website called Over the Wire, which has a fair many war games, I believe around 8 as of me saying this. But we started on Bandit, which is the entry-level or beginner war game. Yeah, you can go to the next slide now. Yeah, so Over the Wire is a in-depth war game collection that spans 35 levels in the Bandit selection. War games is a term used that teaches the basics of web attacks and web security, and it gave participants a better understanding of how attackers exploit security vulnerabilities. Very well so, if I must say. I'm a big fan of Over the Wire. Students were, same slide, go back, sorry. Students were guided through each level using commands such as ls or list, cat or catalog, which is used for opening files, and cd or change directory. Those are some main commands used in the basics of Bandit. Each of these commands is vital to completing the levels of Over the Wire. A lot of them are given by the website, but some need either prior knowledge or research, which the research aspect of Over the Wire, I'm very behind. I very much like that, or I get behind it, not I am behind on it. But yeah, now you can change the slide. Yeah, so right here, you can see on the left image that there is highlighted blue text. That is the password. Every level has one of these, and some levels have different ways to get the same code. So you're trying to bypass or get through on a server after connecting to it to find this code, but some have different ways of accessing it, and some ways are a little more unorthodox than other ways. So this is one of the ways that I believe Nyla in this picture got one of the codes, which is very, very cool. It was done through base 64 decoding, which is a long series of commands needed. So your code or output is different than your input while connected to Bandit. Yeah, and as well as the Over the Wire gets progressively more difficult as you work with it. Even the easiest one, Bandit, is a step up from like entry level cybersecurity. It is a very difficult war game, but all the students did very, very good. You can go to the next slide now. On regards to that, huge props to Tyon and Kaimon Rice, Nylon, Jonathan, who I think is here right now, Dorian, and everyone in cyber. Every single one of the students got to at least level 10 in Bandit Over the Wire, which is fantastic. And special props to Nyla, who is not here today, but her mom was doing cybersecurity certification, and she asked her, hey, do you know of something called Over the Wire? And she was like, yeah, of course I do. And she was, yeah, I need it for certification. And Nyla helped her mom pass it by using the knowledge that she learned in Prodigy. And I found out this like yesterday. It was fantastic, really great. If I believe Jonathan Ireland is here. Jonathan, if you have anything else to say, yeah, no.
Nyla is here.
Oh,
Roman,
Nyla
Nyla is here.
Oh, that's awesome. Nyla, if you have anything to say about the program, please unmute yourself and go off. You did absolutely fantastic.
It's great. I learned a lot, and it really helped me to it motivated me to learn more myself. And I really like pushed me forward.
Yeah, fantastic work to everyone. Oh,
It
yeah.
was good. It was fun, and I got to learn more about coding than I did before.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you to everyone in cyber, and I look forward to seeing you all in Prodigy coming up. Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited. You all did very good.
Well, thank you. And also thank you to all of the students that spoke up. Thank you to all the students participating in the track. Thank you, instructors, for giving such a great overview of all of the tracks and everything that happened over the last 14 weeks. I did want to take a couple of minutes and talk about year-round CodeWorks. Now, this was a new initiative for Code in the Schools for this semester. Year-round CodeWorks is an initiative out of year-round YouthWorks, where students are actually paid during the school year by the same by the same method as our summer CodeWorks program. The summer CodeWorks and YouthWorks keep getting mixed up in my mouth, but this is the same program as kind of our summer CodeWorks, continuously through the school year, where students are continuing to get paid to participate in our program. So it was a great pilot program. We have about 7 students with us that took courses, that participated in our Prodigy classes, that gained certification. We had one student that worked on her scholarships during us and has like full rides to a bunch of Ivy League schools. We have had students really dig in and discover, what is it that I want to do? And then how does a program like Code in the Schools get me there. So it's been an exciting semester to the fall. It'll continue on Monday for another spring semester. We're happy to have these students. And another plug, in order for you to participate in year-round CodeWorks, you have to be one of our summer code workers. So if you haven't signed up for summer CodeWorks, please do so. We'll have links at the end for students to do that as well. And before we wrapped up here, I wanted to, again, thank you all for participating. If there's any student that wants to come off mute and just say thank you, or talk about your favorite part, or thank your instructor for all of their amazing hard work this semester, or tell me why you're excited to come back this spring. If anyone is so moved and hasn't got a chance to share yet, I wanted to open the floor to any instructor, or if there's a parent that wants to say something, a staff member, I wanted to open the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had a great time at CodeWorks.
You.
It's great getting to learn new things and work on new code programs.
Please come back. Please.
Thank you, Mr. David.
Thank you for being awesome too, Gabriel.
All right, thank you.
Am I allowed to say something as an adult parent?
Of course.
I just wanted to say that I don't go inside because I wait out in the car for them, but they are so excited to go and just like thrilled with excitement and bursting adjectives when they come out and so excited to go back. And I just want to thank everybody for that. You are so appreciated in this house.
I'm really excited for this next semester. Teaching my Prodigy courses is always the highlight of my day. I really love seeing everything you guys make. So I'm excited to see what we make next semester.
Well, thank you for all that. Oh, well, does someone else want to say something before I continue? Calling once, calling twice. Well, on that same note, if the presentations, the projects, all of the highlights, accolades, photos, and videos have not convinced you that summer CodeWorks is something that you should do, if Spring Prodigy is something that you should do, I don't know how else to convince you. But for those of you that are convinced, I do want to take a second and say, and leave this up for here for you all. Scan the QR code, sign up for Spring Prodigy if you haven't, sign up for CodeWorks if you are eligible. Please join us. For those of you that were with us in the fall, we would love to have you back. You guys are going to be the leaders in your courses, right? And can help the other new students. Bring your friends. Prodigy is so much more fun with friends. And please join us this summer. It makes you eligible to join us for year-round CodeWorks. You get paid for your summer opportunity. We'll be at UB for 5 weeks this summer, learning about getting farther in depth with a lot of these different fields of study, from cyber to game dev to web dev, Python, machine learning, the list goes on, networking, cloud computing. Please let us know what you want to see in CodeWorks by filling out that application. Join us for CodeWorks this summer. Please also fill out your YouthWorks application so you can get paid. But we were so excited to have you. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see more of you. Bring your friends, tell your friends about us. And we hope that you have had as much fun participating in these programs, watching your children participate in these programs, as I'm sure myself and the staff has had hosting these programs. Again, thank you to Family League for making this possible. Can we all give a virtual round of applause to Family League for their support, for making this free and accessible for Baltimore City students? And thank you all for your time over the last 14 weeks, for your time this evening. We hope to see you soon. Spring Prodigy starts February 5th. And if you want more information or want to bring your friends to Prodigy for more information, next Thursday, we're having an open house. That'll be in person, bearing bad weather. And that's where you can learn more about what are the upcoming tracks. Your people that are new to Prodigy can learn about what we do at Code in the Schools and how we do it. And then you guys also another opportunity to sign up then, but can't guarantee that there'll be room in Mr. Jacobs' class come next Thursday. So sign up quickly, let your friends know. Thank you for joining us. Anyone else has any other parting words?
It really does fill up that quickly. Sign up as soon as.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just handed out every poster that I brought today, so you definitely want to sign up as quick as possible.
Yeah, this semester we have new courses. Machine learning will be a new course. So for those that took Python, that's a great course to go into. But for those of you that are new and interested in what all this AI stuff is, you'll get a little bit of that. We'll still have game dev. We'll be taking 3D design making a comeback. So there's a good mix of new, there's a good mix of old. And altogether, we'll have another great 14 weeks of Prodigy ahead of us. All right, folks. Well, on